Hello and welcome to Smite Drama. Not actually called the State of Smite, but that's just because I wanted to call it this. So, let's get right into it for today's topics. One topic that we're going to discuss first is going to be basically new players in the community, and is Hi-Rez doing its best to really acclimate them into what Conquest is? Which, I mean, everybody can agree that it has played the game that Conquest is the main mode because they balance the game around Conquest. Don't need to go into that any further. So that. And then the second topic will be free gem weekends. Are they harmful or are they helpful to the community? We would like to hear your opinions, we being me, and also the viewers would like to hear your opinions on that. I also have some very specific things I would like to say about that, namely things that will be bleeped out not anytime soon because I don't do that. Anyway, so Conquest and Smite and new players. If there are any new players in the chat, like people under level 30, please type !drama. That'll get you right into the chat, and then tell me here in Discord chat what level you are, and that you have something to say about stuff. Because I think that, A, there's one big thing. You can't play Conquest until level 5 on your account. That's... I don't even know how many games that is. Is that like 10 or 20 games? Around there? You know... It's not like 2 games. So, I understand that Hi-Rez wants to kind of toss them in Arena because it's like, here's how the game works, get a feel for, generally, I mean, the third-person view is all it is. You know, it's like, welcome to playing Guild Wars or, you know, half the other World of Warcraft. Welcome to this view, I'm sure you're not acclimated to it. Here's what you need to do to actually play it. So, understandable, it's like, let them play like that. There is also plenty of practice modes in co-op, so don't know why you gotta throw them into Arena for the first one, or any of the other modes. And that's something I wanted to know, is what other modes are locked? Are there any other modes that are locked? Does anybody else here know? If any other modes are locked before 5? Because then suddenly you get into level 5 and you're like, I want to try Conquest. I think it's one of the modes that we want to play, but I'm not sure because apparently from talking to some people is that they aren't aware that that's like the main mode of the game. They kind of feel as though that's like the secondary mode and Arena is the first main mode. So, what do you do about that? And even it's been stated by Hi-Rez that Arena has more games and is played more often than Conquest. Which, it's almost getting to the point of, why don't you just start balancing the game around Arena and screw Conquest? You're like, we're gonna play Arena now. It's Smite Arena. No longer a MOBA. So, and as you see, we have our lovely chat over here. So everybody who is watching can see what chat is currently saying, which is technically on a 7-minute delay from them hearing me, so this might be later than what I've said. You get the point. So, yes, it does have more games played, but it does not have more time played. Okay. Well, I mean, Arena games are typically a lot shorter because they have what's the word? There's a time limit basically set on it because of the minions. It's not like, if I kill 10,000 minions in a single Conquest game, we're done. That'd be actually an interesting solution. So, how do you get players acclimated to Conquest and really understand how to play the game or what it's even about when they're new? That is the question I have for you guys, and because that seems to be the real big disconnect, is that people, either you come from another MOBA and you really understand how MOBAs work, and so you already have this, like, kind of rolling knowledge that you can just, you acclimate to the controls, and then bam, you're fine. You pretty much understand what's going on. Then you have these other people who've never touched a MOBA, and they just want to play, and they also want to play Conquest because they want to see what a MOBA's actually like, and they get BM'd, they get yelled at, they get harassed. It's just like, why the fuck are you on this game? And then they're like, back to Arena! Because people didn't yell at me nearly as badly there. So, how do they explain that? How do you deal with things like that? Also, I think that snowballing's a big problem right now. It's something they tried to solve a while ago, and they've made it worse. Gilidon, do you have any opinions on that particular instance? You are of the upper echelon of players. If you are, in fact, still here. Let's kill it on. You're killing me, son! Actually killing me. Assault is the true game mode. So, would anybody like to throw any comments on this? Besides, anybody like to chat about comments?
I since I stopped playing a year ago, I remember that's whenever they kind of were handling the snowball ordeal, and it slowed way down because they were changing stuff about like how much gold you're getting from kills and everything.
Yeah.
And then because I remember Loki being just a hell to play against, and then he just got shut down when they stopped the snowballing, and then I don't know what's happened recently, but have they just re-upped gold? Is
No,
that
I
what
mean
the issue has been?
it's not a necessarily that. Yeah, as Flareboot says, they've never changed First Blood gold. I mean, they've changed how much gold you get per consecutive kills on the same person. What is another way of putting it? It's yes, XP gain got sliced. Damn it, Flare, get on here and talk, bastard. Because I mean, Flare is the numbers man. If anybody is ever worried, he's like him and Kret are the two numbers people in Smite, like that have been here forever. Well, Kret more or less came after Flare in that sense. Flareboot's always been the numbers guy. He likes to
Okay,
map
yeah,
it.
they changed the boost for kill streaks. Yeah, I remember that being the issue. You would just like win a few fights in like, in your duo lane, and then all of a sudden you're just rolling out of control and nobody can stop you. Or the
Yeah,
fact with Loki jungle, he would just come into mid or your solo lane, drop the enemy, and leave.
yeah. I mean, it's well, Gale Force. Come on here and discuss. Yes, they turned it down, but it's still a sizable problem. I would say is that you can somebody who is extremely adept at the game if they're coming in new can go from like level 0 or 1 to 5, almost 6, while everybody else is still level 2. I mean, it's knowledge of the game, it's knowing how to counterplay, blah blah blah, but it's still a problem that if people are trying to learn the game and they can't ever get past the starting blocks, it makes it difficult. Because if you're already getting the kills, then you're already doing better than the opponent, because not only did you get the money for killing them, you also have taken them out of making anything because they're dead, and so you get further ahead, which is the rules of the game. But how do you come back from that when they get certain advantages on you like that? Do you have to get help from other lanes that are doing better than their opponents? So many people in the Discord, but nobody's saying anything. I know because they're muted. Because they haven't said I want to say something. Slowly learning the rules of the show. Trevor, do you want to say something? Oh, nope, you don't know what to say. Yeah. I like what Cistern's saying. Why can't you just actually say this, Sister? You're typing in chat, but now you should say it. For the masses to hear. Well, I mean, they're reading it, but same difference. Oh, God, you're eating. Hello, Whiskey Narwhal. We're talking about snowballing and Smite.
They're eating it as an excuse because I was using that too.
Apparently, I start the show at dinner time. Everybody eats at 8 p.m.
I really do though. Like that's actually the time I eat. So whatever.
Yeah, that's the diff. Well, it is a problem, Blair. It's snowballing at lower levels can't be fixed without breaking it at competitive level. See, Cyrus Bush. I'm not really looking forward to playing League since I still don't know how to win games if I am the only one who wins lane. And that's a problem right there in the sense of that, he does want to get better games. He wants to learn the game by playing it on a more, I guess competitive level. But if he goes into the ranked with the knowledge that he just wins lane, and that's all, it's as far as he's gotten. I mean, he's played tons of games, and he just either wins his lane and they win, or he wins his lane and they lose. He doesn't really understand that threshold where it's really, what is causing what. Which, I mean, you gotta do research and stuff like that. How much knowledge should you need of the game to really play it? Like Allied's video once upon a time ago, Smite's just too hard. Does anybody agree or disagree? I mean, I know a lot of people have seen that. And there were many levels that I agreed with them on. And some that were... I think most of it was pretty accurate. Smite isn't hard, but it is hard. I mean, like, they're already throwing... You've got the regular MOBA, like League of Legends, like Dota. I mean, it's got all the same type of mechanics in the sense that you have jungle buffs, you got minions, you got to push different things, which is thus it's 5 similar things, but it's the same damn thing. So now you're also going to throw on top of it skill shots and not being able to look behind you, various things like that. It's hard in terms of decision making. A good way of putting it. It is more enjoyable.
I'm with Flair about when you don't follow the meta, how strict it can be. Like if you don't play X God and X lane with X items at this time,
yep,
you just fall on your face.
Get out of here, shitter. What are you building? You've all heard that stuff. I think I've heard that stuff. Granted, I can't relate my new player experience to the one of today, because back when I was playing it as a new player, everybody was new. Because we were all playing it for the first times, and so everybody's just like, ugh. Of course, everybody still said you're a shitter and you should get out of this. There were actually people that said you need to uninstall this game, shitter, on day 3. Day 3 of the beta. It was recorded somewhere, and I had it uploaded somewhere. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Nobody knows how to play this game. What the fuck? It was classic. I got to yell about it then too.
When I first started, Conquest was like the only game mode you could play.
Yeah, there was no other game modes. It was only Conquest.
They were doing, and that was when Smite was fun. When nobody knew what they're doing, and then pros came along and they knew what they were doing, and then you had to learn real quick. You just got pooped on every game. So like my beginning of Smite is probably like 3 times different from what people go through now. Now it's probably a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah.
People have to learn so much shit to fucking be competitive in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you don't just have to learn one position. You got to know all the positions so you can be even have an enjoyable time, I think.
Yeah. Because in ranked, you'll not get your position every time. There's no way in shit.
No. It's not like Heroes of the Storm where you can queue a particular god and be like, I'm only playing this god, and I'm just going to be super competitive with this single person, and I will have fun. So, Ollie, you have things you would like to say.
My god, I fucking hate trying to learn Conquest.
Why? What is it about it that makes it super frustrating?
I mean, it's fine the fact that I learned with Doom in them, but I'll try and queue with other people now, and it's just fucking terrible.
The other players, or?
No, cause I still am trying to learn builds, and I'm still not the best to support gods, and it's just really bad.
So, everybody's playing badly, or they're yelling at you?
No, it's not if I queue with people, they don't yell at me. I've queued with Beak and them, and I'm like, Allie, don't build this.
Right.
But they never yelled at me. But it's other people have just been. It's not fun. I hate it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't change much from when I started
Even
either.
like literally, even in one, I think it was like either an assault or an arena. Somebody like said something about one of the characters I was playing, and I was queuing with people at the time, but they said like that was complete shit and everything, and that I should just uninstall the game.
So, I mean, obviously, there's an issue with the fact that some people are giant douches, and they need not to
Oh,
be
that's
giant douches.
probably in every game.
And it's something that used not to be a very big issue, but it seems like over the past, I don't know how long, maybe a year or so, like the amount of douche level, I guess, has
It's
just
increased.
skyrocketed. Like, it's insanity. I get into games and get yelled at for doing things that I know are just fine. And, like, it's legitimately people that have no idea what they're talking about, and they're yelling at me for being bad, and they're the ones who are bad, which is, I have the VOD proof of how they're bad. I'm not going to call them out on it unless they start bitching at me. But it's, how do you get people to understand and be less bad? Oh, it's the
It's
constant thing that has been fought in gaming for years.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing of some of it, it's not necessarily that sometimes you're doing something bad. It's that that person possibly did something bad and you're not catering to them and not helping them out. So
Yeah.
they just look for a scapegoat. It
Like,
happens in every single, any type of competitive game from,
Yeah.
checkers to, you know, anything. Just
Damn you, Red Piece! Why didn't you jump over him? But
pretty much.
as an
They'll be like, oh,
ADC,
the sun's in my eyes.
right? As an ADC, if you're doing badly, you blame the support. If you're a mid laner, you blame the jungler. If you're a
yay!
solo laner, you blame the jungler. If you're a jungler, you blame everybody because nobody did anything right. They were all pushed back in their lanes, and I had nothing to do, and they were
And in
all
general,
invading my
people just
camps.
blame
And,
supports.
I just don't know what to do because everybody's invading. So
Oh yeah, as being a support, just constantly getting blamed is very fun.
yes, I mean I would say supports and junglers probably get 90% of the crap. Are
Oh
those
my
two
god,
people.
yes.
And
It
they're the two
literally,
people that
MOBAs
have
in
to know
general.
the most about the game. I would say the supports and jungling are the two most complicated positions. Mid lane in a very close third. Solo can just get right out, and
Mid
ADC,
lane, mid lane. Oh god, yeah. Mid lane gets a lot of crap because if they're like, say you're not like dominating your lane, but you're winning, but if you leave and everybody else knows you're leaving, you're winning, but you can't leave because as soon as you leave, that's the advantage you're giving up, and then you just get yelled at. Like, why didn't you rotate over? You're ahead of the person. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that?
yeah. I mean that's as you gain knowledge and understand. Okay, I push up the wave. I've got my buff. He's gonna have to deal with this wave for another 30 seconds. I can make it the mid lane and back. That's just having experience and getting practice with stuff like that. And so people need to calm the fuck down and just not yell at you for it. It would
like,
be I would like to encourage people in the community to be like, you could rotate there, try it next time maybe or something like that.
like I'm still learning support, like, but I've Plastic and Doom have kind of been teaching me, and like even Plastic's like, yeah, you just need to do more on rotations. He's like, other than that, you're pretty much fine. It's just I need to learn rotations, and they're not mean about it. Like if I fuck up, Doom is just like, we don't care. It's perfectly
Yeah.
okay. Pancakes can probably agree to that. Like he says that to me all the time because I apologize a lot.
I mean, you're playing with our guys who we've been playing it so long we've stopped caring about really like going super try hard mode and stuff like that. We just want to play and have fun, and if you screw up, who cares? We'll do it again. There's going to be bad games and there's going to be good games. It's the people that assume that we're always going to play perfectly. And I'm going to yell
like
at you
when
if you
Doom
don't.
did
Yeah, that's something I
Doom
don't
doing
like.
Poseidon ADC.
I
Like
don't
in
like when people get mad when you don't play a perfect game. Like I had a bad game this morning, and these people just bitched at me so hard for no. Like they were saying they were better than me. I clearly know I've been playing longer and I'm better. I just had a bad game. It's like people forget that bad games happen.
yeah.
That's just the way this community has grown to be. It's like bad games don't happen. You have to play perfectly every time.
God, I
Just
could
the
not
way
play
it works.
perfectly. Like
Yeah.
pancakes, firsthand experience. I screw up a lot.
I mean, I do, and I've been playing this game for fucking too long, probably. And I still make mistakes. It's just everyone does it, but
Yeah.
people just like to bitch.
Yeah, I'm
So
sure, Demon, you remember like whenever, probably kind of remember I first started. I would queue up with you guys, and we'd just be playing normals, and I would be like you and Plastic, and then we go against like people that are pros, and
yeah,
I'm just sitting here going, "Fuck, what do I do? Fuck, what do I do?"
that was
And at least you
actually
guys were like, "Chill, you'll do fine. You're probably gonna be beat, but here's what you should do in order to better yourself."
yep.
So
It's I forgot what I was gonna say now.
you're a monkey's uncle.
I am. That's actually the nickname for my oldest son, because he climbs every day. But I totally lost it. So we'll continue on. I'll probably get it back at some point. It was something good too. So how do we really fix this as a community though? Like, we have to do it. We can't expect Hi-Rez to try and fix it all. They can do what they can do, and we can expect them to do it, and we'll bitch about it after they do it. Whether the fix is great or not, we'll never know, because only people will complain, and the people that will only be heard are the people who are complaining, like me, because I make a show called Smite Drama, where we talk and bitch about stuff that's going wrong. And so,
I think it's.
go ahead.
Finish what you're saying.
That was pretty much it.
Oh, the way it is now. Hi-Rez has moved past to where they've gotten big enough that they can't be involved in the community like they were before, which is a shame, but it's part of
Yeah.
the growing pains.
Oh,
Now
that
it's
reminds
kind
me.
of shifted to the community's point of view, and some of the people that have been made big by working with Smite and all of this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's on them, but they could help be a catalyst towards learning new things. Possibly people posting on some on like Smite websites or on Reddit and stuff, and just linking it, like warding positions. That just, I know about it from playing support in like every MOBA I've ever played. I'm big on support, so whenever I go in, if there's such thing as wardings, I like to know where to put a ward or something. Like things like that could be very valuable. Like, oh, by the times the mid camps come back up, you should probably ward either here or here, depending on how X player is moving.
Yeah.
Like small things like that, like what should you do in certain situations? It would really help out. You don't need every bit of information at once, because not everybody's going to retain everything. It has to be built up, because if you just dump everything without building a foundation, then that's where people get frustrated.
Oh yeah. And the thing I remembered that I was going to say was, back in the day, I used to do a ton of viewer games. Like, I would pretty much we would group up and queue as 5. Well, damn us if we queued as 5 for pre-mades, which there was a pre-made queue at the time. And we would, that's one of the reasons my win rate for Conquest sucks, is because I would do all these viewer games where we just queue Conquest as basically a random 5. We were less than, like, matchmaking must have had a great time trying to match us up. And we would always get up against, actual pre-mades who just crapped all over us because we had no real synergy. We weren't in comms. We were just a random 5 people that I pulled from a stream. And this is when I was streaming on Smite Game, streaming on my channel, wherever. And so it really discouraged kind of all of us to be like, ugh, just don't want to play Conquest anymore with random people, because we're going to get crushed. And it's annoying and disappointing. I don't get mad at the people, because this is what I expected. I didn't expect them to perform at a professional level, because we're just a bunch of random viewers. And so how do you do that, though? It's like, people want to help people get better, but it's impossible to really do like 100% viewer games. The best thing we've come up with lately is we've been doing a lot of customs, which sadly we can't get worshippers and all that experience and stuff for. So that's a big drawback. But the good part is that we know who we're facing. We know, everybody's relative skill level. We we try and put teams up against teams that do reasonably. And then when we're done, we have a nice conversation about what you should do better. And like, hey, this is something you should do. You should try this. This is why I was able to beat you over in this area. And this is what you did to me. And this is what I could do to get a little better, so on and so forth. And I really wish it's like they've divvied up the community. I think one of the big problems is so many game modes for starts. Siege, I mean, there's a game mode for everything except 2 people. I mean, there's a solo queue.
Unless it's that one match of the day where it's 2v2s.
Maybe.
Which almost,
yes.
Never happens.
So you get everybody and their mother who wants to play together. They play whatever amount of people there are. If there's 3 of them, they play 3v3s. If there's 4 of them, they play Siege. If there's 5, they play Arena, Assault, or Conquest. And I honestly am starting to think that the amount of other game modes is detrimental to everybody's knowledge of it. Because people will go and they will play Arena from level 0 to 30, and they will play only Arena, Assault, and Siege. Maybe not even Siege. And then they will get to level 30, and they'll be like, I want to try Conquest. Well, matchmaking already has a predetermined effect of, like, well, these guys are already pretty good. I mean, they've got a really good knowledge of the game. They're already level 30. Let's throw them in here with these guys who are around their same skill level, if they were playing Arena. Well, they're not playing Arena, they're playing Conquest, and these guys get absolutely destroyed because it's a completely different game mode, and they have no experience of it.
I was always terrified to queue Conquest. Like when I first started, I don't think I played my first game of Conquest until I was in a 5-man queue, and I was with Doom and Pancakes and all of them, and Doom was literally like, "We'll let Allie decide if she wants to play Conquest," because I was deathly afraid of it because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yep. I mean, that's just is. Also, cute, I unmuted you who would like to say anything.
I wish that I would be able to play Conquest before level 5 because I got so used to doing Assault and Arena and all of that I just didn't want to play Conquest because I was terrified of it.
Yeah. But Souls, how do you get these Arena players to play Conquest? I mean, I understand, yes, they shouldn't go into Ranked as their first Conquest experience, which I have had playing Ranked. You're like, so, how are you guys doing today? You're starting off thing. He's like, yeah, this is my second game of Conquest. Like, your second game of Conquest Ranked? Oh, my second game of Conquest. Why are you playing Ranked? Okay, whatever. So, how do you encourage people to play regular Conquest? Get them to want to learn it. I mean, I think some people just play regular casual Conquest to just screw around, and then they find out that they hate it, and so they go back to Arena. But everything else in the game is determined by Conquest.
I mean, once I was it mostly started when I was playing with Doom, and then it was mostly just, they literally told me to whatever role you want to do, because I knew what the roles were, but they were like, whatever role you want to do, we'll fill around you, and we'll help you learn this. But obviously not everyone's going to be in that 5-man queue, but just having 1 or 2 people being there, being like, oh, maybe you should do this or suggest doing this. Yeah. It's just even having one other person being there going, oh, maybe you should rotate around this time a little more, or maybe rotate and give your just to do all of that.
Yeah, I honestly think our biggest problem is the fact that people have to start playing Arena. Like Chaos put it in chat there, back when we started, there was no other mode than Conquest. And so it's the mode we started learning on, and you got into matches with other people who were starting the game too, and they had no idea what was going on, and they started off in Conquest. The reason I think that they should be forced to play Conquest first is because it is the most complex of those. And so if you start them off heavy, this is it, this is what game's about. I mean, it's about MOBA, that's what you're playing. You've, just play through this, get get some experience. Then once you hit 5, then you can play Arena, Assault, and all these other like random things if you just want to practice and get a little bit better.
Like, honestly, now that I've played more Conquest, like, I love it, but I could never solo queue it because I literally want to bang my head on a wall. Because I know people be like, oh, you're just a shit support because you don't know when to rotate.
Right. Salty Goose has the best idea I've heard all day. Perhaps you could limit how high of a level you can get to by not playing Conquest, such as you can only get to level 20, playing Arena only or Assault only. You know, you have to get that last few levels, you have to play Conquest to level up as an account,
Okay,
which
but I
would
have a problem with that, right?
you do or don't?
Let's say I do.
Okay.
Let's say you're playing the game, right, for fun, and you
Yep.
just play it, so like on Xbox Smite. You just play it, you see Arena, and that's what you queue. What if you want to hit level 30 and get stuff, and get all the stuff at level 30, but you don't want to play Conquest? You don't want to try, you don't want to play that game mode, you just want to play Arena.
Yeah.
What happens to all them, all those players? Do they just not get to be level 30? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it's kind of up to High-Res is how they want to determine that. But honestly, my personal opinion would be, as a businessman, no, because you would have to. You want to make your money. I mean, High-Res needs to make their money from all the things, so they want everybody to want everything. But as somebody who wants the game to continue to grow, I would say that that would be reasonable because it's like our game is mainly Conquest. Like you're kind of playing the extremities of our game, and you know you're not really filling out or playing the full thing. You know.
Mm-hmm. See, I like Flair's idea, like diminish the XP you get, not just delete it completely. I kind of like Flair's idea a little better because that solves my problem I had with it. You know?
Yeah. It's like you can gain it faster from playing Conquest because that way you will get more experience in the main mode. I'll agree to that too. That sounds good. I mean, if you want to play 16 years worth of Arena to get the 30, then go for it. All right, Lil G, where are you? There you are. All right, go for it.
I really think that you should just.
Hold on one second. Let me turn you up. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I think that they should have like separate MMRs, matchmaking ratings for each mode.
Yeah.
If they have, just because if I, like right now, I'm coming from League of Legends. I'm gold 5 in League, so I'm decent, above average. So when I come in and I'm level 16 right now, and I'm just dumpstering on players, it's not really fun for me, and like I just can't. I don't know, like I can't learn the game when I'm just when I'm feeling like I know more than the people I'm playing with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So is that the majority of your game? Like you're currently what level are you right now?
I'm currently level 16, and
Okay.
I just went 21 and 2 as Thanatos solo lane.
Okay.
Like it just
Were you facing one other opponent in the solo lane?
yeah, like during the team fights and stuff. Like
I mean, like in the
like
laning phase, was it because?
yeah, I was getting ganked. They had a
No. I mean, like, was there actually two people in the lane from the start? Because, like, I've been talking to some other people, like Black, who's level
oh
I
yeah,
think
that
12,
happens occasionally.
where you'll
Because
just get they don't know that jungling is a thing, and they just have 2-1-2.
yeah, sometimes I'll get a support and an ADC because they just think right lane instead
Yep.
of like go to the side, go to the longer lane. It's very
And it's
it's kind of
frustrating
annoying.
for you because you want to play in better games, but can't you
Yeah, and I
because you
don't
got to get through this crap.
yeah. Like I'm playing with people who are buying Hog on support where I mean like I know it used to be good. Like I played a little bit when Medusa was released and Hog was pretty good then, but now it's just really like crap.
Yeah.
That's what my friends have told me. So
Okay.
it's very
So, do you
so
have any suggestions? I mean, it's probably
yeah.
not, but
I
you
mean,
have
just like
go for it. What
uh,
suggestions would you have to help improve?
I think that they need to just make it so that like if you do play Siege, like like you only get like a certain level in siege only. So like you'll have like a siege level, a conquest level, a joust level, and an arena level, I guess.
I like it.
So
I like it. That also works.
thanks.
I don't 100% know if they have different matchmaking for different modes. They may, and maybe they don't.
Well, Flair says they do.
Blair says they do have different matchmaking.
Yeah. Yeah, I said it in chat earlier.
You can
So then
categorically
why are-
state. What is,
So then why are new players or arena players and stuff like that complaining about conquest matchmaking? That just doesn't seem like it's working then.
Not sure.
well, I mean, how do you transfer from arena to conquest? I never did that. I just went from conquest to arena.
Yeah, that's what I did too. See, I
And
don't
it's
know.
like, arena is purely a screw around mode. Same with siege and assault. I mean, it's literally I just don't feel like playing conquest. I don't feel like taking the game seriously. I'm gonna go play arena because I just want to pick Bakasura and run around and shoot people up.
I don't think that's how arena works.
Yes, it is. It works like that. I
Uh,
pick whatever god I feel like, and I do stuff.
Not in high level arena.
There's high level arena.
There is.
But who cares about high-level arena?
dude?
There's actually people who play arena and only arena for a reason, and they're good at it.
I believe it.
Now, see, I do agree.
Yeah, but
I have seen
those
that
skills
before.
don't transfer.
Well, they don't transfer, but I've queued with 4 other pro players,
Wow, Discord, please.
by arena pro players.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, I have too. My team,
Well-
like, I don't know. I mean, I think you have a point. I think like the guys who play mostly arena, like they should make ranked arena again, and let the arena players run that.
Yeah, but the problem is you need to balance that somehow. I mean, there's just
That is
you take Jablanc, Poseidon, Ares. You know, there's a certain meta in arena that it's not changed significantly by balance changes. Which is pretty much just take the OP gods and win. Which, I mean, you could say it's the same for Conquest, but there are countermeasures you can do besides just don't die. Also,
I don't know.
how do you classify an arena pro player?
The way they do things.
It's
They'll,
not
like,
just one player. It's 5
yeah, it's
players who
Right,
play
but-
together
Who are
and
they?
know. Well, there's different kinds. I mean, I don't think your MMR is like really high, so I don't
Yeah,
think
but
you would get them.
Who plays arena like that? Are there any
I
like?
mean, I can get on and tell you because I have some of them added on my friends list, but there's quite a few who are legit just shit on you if you were to face 5 of them. Like, there's clans that dedicate to arena, to only
Yeah.
arena, and are better than most pro players in arena.
Yeah, we had an arena tournament several year ago now when we had that,
it was a while ago. We
at
could
least a year ago, I think. And it was okay, so back when I was working as an administrator for Hi-Rez, we used to do the weekend tournaments where EU NA there was no pro league. It was just the winners got they split $1,000 each region each week. This is like the early Smite pro or esports. And so one week after we had like gotten seeding and stuff for a LAN tournament based off of the past weeks we've been playing it, we had a couple weeks break, and so we're like, we're gonna run an arena tournament. An average day of weekend tournaments, we would get maybe 20 to 25 teams to show up. And that's on like a good week. Some weeks we had like 8 to 10. One week we had, I think, 4, 6. It was pretty sad. And this was for a regular conquest. This arena tournament, we had more than 128 teams show up. We had to cut it off at 64 because the brackets that we were using couldn't handle anything more. And so we were trying to figure out who got here first and who got in. It was honestly, it was a nightmare because like we had no idea that there was going to be this many people that wanted to try and compete for a grand in arena. It ended up being 2 of the
it
top
was
pro
biased.
teams that ended up winning. It was, I don't remember what pro teams it was, but they
It was
did
Vector
end up
Toss.
winning.
Toss one.
What was
No,
that?
Cloud9. No, COG. The old COG.
Yes,
I
old
think, I
COG, which was
remember.
current Cloud9. With,
Yep.
I think they did win it. Yeah, pretty sure you're right.
It was Eager versus, fucking Dignitas.
It was Dignitas versus Cloud
them
or
in the finals.
COG,
Yep.
and I mean it was quite funny to watch the entire thing, but it was just the fact that there was so much interest in that, which kind of blew us away, and which makes me really question, should Smite focus on more of Arena maybe, and let people that want to play Conquest just kind of have that mode?
I don't see a reason why
I don't
not.
see. I don't think Arena would make like as good of an esport. Is the problem. I I don't know. I think.
Well, I mean,
Arena
that's
is just
because we're
basically
Conquest
too
whores.
competitive.
We've grown
I
up
guess
on it.
that's true.
Yep,
I guess
that's
true.
exactly it.
It's
Yeah,
like
but-
we are the old men of Smite. We're like, you get back over to your arena because that's where noobs go and practice. We play Conquest, which is the really hard mode.
As sad as it is, that is pretty true.
It's very
That's
accurate.
actually how I think.
I mean,
Yeah.
I believe Arena is harder than Conquest.
How
I mean,
so?
Harder, but it takes less skill.
I mean, I play Conquest. I don't play Arena. I mean, I used to when I started, but now just playing Conquest because it's for me more enjoyable because I know what to do in Conquest and not Arena. Because believe it or not, there's actually a meta for Arena. Like,
Mhm.
I couldn't tell you myself because I don't play Arena. But the people who take every Arena game seriously, they they select my god for me. I can't even pick what I want because they want to win. I'm being dead serious.
I know. They're like, we need a
Last time I got-
bruiser. We want a Herc. Bring him. I mean, because it still falls under
Herc is bottom
the
tier.
aspect of the fact that it's not balanced around Arena. So there are specifically overpowered gods, like having Xeblanc. He's like by far and away considered the most OP, one of the most OP gods in Arena, because of his passive, which he just builds up in about 5 seconds if he's really good. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing that was actually what happened, Ghost Kid, with the final match of the Arena tournament. It came down to one of the teams. It was 1-1, I think, was the score, or 2-1, something like that. They, at the time it hit 10 points left in the match, both teams just backed the hell off and they started killing minions.
Yeah.
Then somebody
I remember that.
I think somebody blinked in and did like some combo and they killed one person, so it put them. It got really close, so it ended up being like 2-1. So what happened was the team that had the 2, they went back into the pool and they sat there and let the enemy team push the minion wave towards their portal, and then they just ulted over the wall and killed that one minion and won the game. And it's like, yay, this was exciting. Now, I mean, there could be a way that they could, say, change around Arena and how it works to make it more exciting. That is an option too. I mean, it doesn't have to be, say, the esport in its current rendition. Like maybe they could have it actually be kills. It's like the first one to 25 or some junk like that. I don't know. But this still isn't helping the conversation, which is how do you get people to play the main game mode of Conquest and understand it? I mean, how do you explain Conquest in a nutshell to people? You have to do it to explain it in its current rendition to new players. You have to do it in a per position mode. Are you playing support? Are you playing ADC? Are you playing this? The reason Hi-Rez doesn't want to do that with like a tutorial is because they don't want to dictate a meta by saying supports are these guys, ADCs are these guys, because they want the meta to, as it has been, constantly evolving. I mean, why can't you take Vulcan ADC? No, why don't you?
I think they already did that when assigning each god. This god is a hunter. That they already like dictated the meta by.
Yes and no. I mean, Hades is a guardian too, so it's not dictating the meta
is
that
fair.
seriously.
There's like
They've
there's
always
like
had that
gods
type
who's
of dictation for, as I know they threw it in at some point. I can't remember when. But back in the day when Smite was first around, they wanted to they specifically made the statement that they didn't want to lock any particular god to a certain role. And That's why you had magical items, you had physical items, you had mages building physical ymitems, which was just Face Punch Ymir was the greatest, as always.
Face Punch Ymir is rip in peace.
Yes, rip in peace, crit Ymir, things like that. And so then they decided to finally say, all right, only mages can build magical, only physicals can build physical, which I think was a good move in one sense of the fact that it makes it a little bit simpler because you don't have double the items to figure out what you want to get, which is kind of nice. It made building a lot easier. So it brought the build scheme down greatly. However, it also really narrowed the scope of builds. Because now you can only build mage items. Well, now there's not like this hybrid building, because Freya used to be able to build hybrid. She was specifically designed as a hybrid god. And so that's why she hasn't translated over into it took her a very, very long time to be, at a balanced level after they split everything, because at first she was just garbage, because it's like suddenly you're all magical, and then they buffed her, and then she's just blowing people out of the water, and they're like, how do we fix this? Any slight adjustment we do to her breaks her or makes her useful as hell, which is the same thing for Zeus. So that's why Zeus is still having to go through rekits and figuring out how exactly does he work, because he was built, his kit and stuff was designed at a time when hybrids was an option. Building crit Zeus would be awesome.
Oh god. It'd be crazy.
Oh gosh. Grandes. I was like, I hear children. Not my children.
Yeah, I thought that was your kids.
I thought that was my kids too, but it was not. Yeah, I mean, currently you have plenty of meta changing things where you got Neath mid, Hades solo, Anubis jungle. I mean, that stuff, it works, but it's not considered good. And so, how do you let people know what's considered good and bad without just yelling at them for doing it incorrectly? I mean, you could be nice and be like, yeah, you're Anubis, and it's cost us many games in ranked, as Pancakes and I can attest to. When we Q ranked and this guy's like, I'm totally taking Anubis mid, and we're like, oh, fine. You're gonna get camped.
They take it into casual games and stuff like that, and they do really well.
Right.
So I think they can take it to rank and do the same thing, and then they just get destroyed. But I don't know a way of fixing that, to be honest, other than just letting them get destroyed and learn.
But the problem is, it's also killing 4 other people's elo when that happens, and it's not their fault. I mean, how do you deal with that? So, anybody that would like to join us, hit !drama in the chat, and it will come up with a link, and you too can join us. And if you would like to kindly say, I have something to say in the Discord chat, so that way I can follow what's going on, because people in Discord who are just carrying on a conversation as well is greatly distracting. Because I'm trying to figure out if people want to talk, and they get lost in the stuff. Cistern.
And you're easily distracted.
I am Goldfish and Shiny Object. Fluxic, would you like to say something? There you go, Fluxic.
I've wanted to say something this entire time, please. Thank you.
Please, go.
Okay, so my biggest issue with the whole, starting from all the way from the beginning, is the whole new players experience and such. This game is just naturally unforgiving.
That's true.
So I mean, if you know what you're doing, then you can do something, and you can obviously do well in your games, obviously. But obviously, like Ali said, like the tutorials just suck. They're bad. It's not gonna teach you anything. It just teaches you the basic mechanics. It doesn't teach you how to play Conquest. It doesn't teach you how to play Arena. It just teach you how to do nothing.
Fair enough.
So I mean, if they had it specifically for this is how you play Conquest, this is how you play Arena, then yeah. But I mean, that might help a little bit, but.
So you said something in there that I think explains a lot better what I was trying to get across. It's not so much that Smite is super snowbally, it's that it's super unforgiving. When you screw up, that first time you screw up, you're going to be really far behind.
Oh no, like if you die for first blood, you're done. Like you're done for the game. Unless you somehow magically get a double kill.
Unless what happens is the opponent makes an unforgiving mistake where you do something amazing and they do something dumb and you get a double kill.
Exactly.
And so, but if they can manage to play it extremely well, or they just
Mhm.
nurse their lead, then it's really, really hard to come back from.
Exactly. It's like people who have a MOBA background, like as long as they know how to like keep their lead, if they, let's say I killed someone in solo lane and the 2 levels already behind me. All I have to do is either deny them in lane and just not get them any experience, or I just kill them again. I kill them again and when they make the same mistake. But it doesn't show, you keep making that mistake. They don't say you're doing this mistake, this is how you do it to support it. You don't, it doesn't show how to not do that mistake again. So I mean, there's no way to, show people what you're doing wrong. It's just kind of, if you screw up and you don't know you're screwing up, then it's like you're gonna keep that mentality going on.
Yeah, that's a big problem of you don't know that you're screwing up or how exactly you're screwing up, and it's really hard
Mhm.
to tell where it is.
Yeah, and
Like,
I mean with
how
the
am I
whole arena
behind?
thing,
I don't really understand how I'm behind. I didn't die. I've been
exactly,
clearing the wave. Why is he 3 levels ahead of me? He doesn't.
exactly.
He's got the same kills I do, or he doesn't have kills. We're both at 0-0. Why is he so much farther ahead? It's. I mean, you can go back and watch the replay and be like, what was he doing different? That's the best way to do it is just to literally
But the
self-reflection.
replay may not give any information. That's the thing, because if you don't know what they're doing correctly, or it may not give them any information to improve. That's the thing. Unless someone tells you, "Hey, this is what you're doing wrong, and this is what the other player is doing. That's why you're 3 levels up behind them."
I see plastic.
But how would high res fix that though? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
how
I
would
get what you
they?
mean. And to an extent, there's not much they can do about it because they don't know. They can't. If they say, for each role, this is what you do, then they're
For that?
dictating a meta. That's what they first originally said. They don't want to dictate a meta. They want people to decide.
Yeah.
So they need to just decide. Either put their foot down and saying, "This is how the game's we played. This is how we want it," and let it go as it is. That's how they set it up. That's how they set the tutorials up.
All right. Where is King? Explain. You said it in the chat in here. Look at it from the C9 game this weekend. Go for it. I haven't muted you, so you can talk the way I was. Go ahead and take that.
He may not even have a mic.
You might not have a mic. Would be disappointing. It
Mm-hmm.
needs to be a farming tutorial. Okay. How to farm in Smite.
I think that would be hard to do because there's multiple I don't know. Farming in
Well,
Smite is not like doing anything else in the game. Like it's just
yes and no, but I think having a basic explanation saying you have to be this close to the minions. You have to, this is the max range you can be before you lose XP by not being close enough. If you last hit the minions, you get extra gold. You still get gold if you don't last hit the minions, but you get more if you do. I heard King's microphone do.
I heard
I
that.
can agree with that though.
It's just, a basic mechanical explanation.
True, but people can misinterpret it as well. So like if you walk up a little bit too forward, then you're obviously just gonna get killed for it. So it's like overextension. So I mean, if they think oh, I'm at the creep wave, but then they walk a little bit too forward, obviously either they're gonna get ganked or they're gonna get killed for it,
Yeah.
or either severely punished. I mean, that's a little bit more trickier to do, especially for like the range of the minion waves and such like that.
But yeah, like Creatura, I call you Creature, said he's in Plat 3 and he had a guy in Plat that doesn't know that getting last hits on minions actually gave you extra gold.
You see that? You know what? I'll be honest. I didn't know that for a long time in Smite. I had no fucking idea. Like because I didn't get a tutorial. This is the first MOBA I ever played, and I came in at the very beginning and I had no fucking clue.
Yeah.
I was just clearing mini waves, thinking they were all doing the same shit. And then I started playing ranked, and I started figuring things out more. And it took me a long time to learn that kind of stuff, you know. But I figured now they'd have that kind of tutorial, like
Must
in
have
Joust or something. They just say that
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never done the tutorials.
Yeah, cute. You must have DC'd and come back in. I had you unmuted.
Yeah,
I don't really think
close
we.
tab.
Oh, are you talking? Okay.
No, you can talk.
I don't think we should have tutorials for everything. I think players should have to learn by themselves, and because if you just teach somebody, oh, if you go this far, you're gonna die, they'll
No.
eventually just like, I can't go this far.
Not
I can't.
necessarily, but having the basic fact that last hitting a minion gets you double the gold. I mean,
Yeah, I
that's
understand that. I'm like saying like, well, like include that in like the basic tutorial.
right.
If you last hit the minion, you get a little bit extra gold. So, but like saying that, oh, if you overextend this much, you're gonna die.
Well, that's
You
just
don't.
MOBA knowledge. That's not just specifically Smite,
Yeah.
but specifically
Yeah.
Smite, it's last hitting gets you gold because I remember there was a time when Smite touted the fact that last hits didn't really matter. It's kind of like,
Oh,
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
first-
yeah, it
remember
does.
that
The
too.
first blood meta. Oh, that was a fun meta.
Explain that one for me, Fluxic.
The first blood, yeah, when first blood meant everything, and you could just like do 5-man middle first blood. That was like way before. I think it was like right when the first revision of the conquest map was done.
Okay.
That was like a long time ago.
Was that when they removed the side lanes, or when that was
Yeah,
when
they
tightened
removed
it up?
like the side. Yeah, they removed the
Okay.
You
side.
mean the green lane?
Yeah, the green lane.
The green
much.
lane.
Green map.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Did
green lane.
anybody ever call it green lane?
Well, I'm the first.
Yes, you're the first and the last to ever
Yeah,
call it the green
It
lane.
was
I'm gonna
it was
keep
when they
calling
removed the
it green
side
lane.
lanes.
It was when green buff was there, but that's another story.
Man, that was a good
Green
buff.
buff was
Love-
the
I
dope
was green?
It
I
was
am kind
dank.
of annoyed that you can't pick up multiple jungle buffs. Still.
It made,
honest
in
to
my
God,
opinion. Go
I'm
ahead.
glad that's gone.
Yeah, I'm
I
glad.
think I'm glad. Because
It-
think about it. The new gods nowadays. Imagine a fucking Alquang with every buff on him just running at you.
Hmm.
Like, the gods nowadays, it wouldn't work. Like, we thought Baka was extreme back then. A Kali, like the new version
Fenrir.
of Kali. Yeah,
Yeah.
Fenrir would be a little crazy.
Speed.
It's
Yeah.
just, I don't know. I'm kind of glad they got rid of it. I think it helped.
It did.
It did. Although no, that's just. Although I really wish they could put the buffs a little higher off the ground. So when you kill that big minion and his body is hiding the buff, you're not sitting there wading through his corpse trying to figure out where it is.
That's just arena. Like that's just arena itself.
True story.
Actually, pretty valid point.
It's not just arena. I mean, it happens in Conquest. Too.
I don't recall. This,
Shit, I wish
whatever.
they would get rid of the juke and jungle buff, dude.
That's
so
something that does need to be
annoying.
fixed. Yes, we need to get rid of the Macarena jungle buff.
Yes, I agree.
And they
That's
just
the damn
run around you
salsa
like
when you're
nobody's
trying to
business.
auto it.
I think the conquest map for now is it's stable, which is like good. Because when I first started playing was when there was outside like buffs.
Yeah, the outside
And
lanes.
And back then I didn't know anything about like what gods do and things. I just got a beta key and I wanted to try it.
Yep.
See, that's
And
what I was. That's how I was too.
and when I updated the game and there was no side camps, I actually thought I was playing a different game for like a entire week. I'm not gonna lie. It was just, like 'cause I didn't read past those. Like, what are those?
That is true.
Can't wait for the
I
new
do kind of agree
1v1.
with Raven on this one. The thing that really annoys me right now, and it's been a big surrounding thing that's been contested for a long time, is mid game. It's the fact that if something happens and I get first blooded and I died at mids or near mids, and they are very smart about it, and they're like, we got mids now because A, you guys don't have the timers, and B, we're a little bit ahead of you. They've now got control of both of those mid camps with ease, and it's really hard to get them back.
Well, the reason like Hyris implemented them was to have a contestant, like a spot where they can fight
Right.
and contest things
I
and
know.
make the game more interesting and fun to watch.
But
Why
at
would you
the-
do that after changing a meta that revolved around no longer needing kills anymore?
Exactly.
That's like a contradiction to both statements or like the both mindsets. Sure, farming's incredibly important, but right now, like first blood is worth what 300, 400 gold, I believe. Maybe
400.
500. All right,
400.
400. After that, like the second, if you get second blood, it's worth like 200. It's worth half of that. So what's the point of killing someone? Just go get the mid harps that are worth already 200 from the start. You can't go ahead and say, oh, let's force more fights. Let's make team fighting more exciting for people to watch, but then make it literally pointless for a team to even go out there and get kills outside of, okay, I want to go kill my opponent and then zone him off of like 400 free experience and have a level advantage. And now he never fights me for the rest of the game.
Because he can't.
I think what he's.
Yep.
I think what you're trying to say is like kills aren't near as important as farm at the higher level games.
Not anymore.
That is very true. Like you can go get first blood and still be behind. That shit happens to me all the time. Like I'll get first blood in mid, and then I'll still be behind the enemy jungler because he didn't die. He just picked up the enemy team's mid lane, right? The enemy team's farm. So my kill was not worth me getting it because I lost farm trying to get it, and he gained it, which means I wound up falling behind.
No, it also means that he's smart and knows that farm is more important than trying to chase you around.
Yeah. See, that's a good thing. That means I'm in high level games because I do the same thing. But at what point where is it worth going to get a kill? Like at what point do you
When
just
there's
like,
an
drop
objective
everything?
like Gold Fury or Fire Giant, that's when it's worth getting kills.
Okay,
But it's not
so
worth
you
getting
sit
kills at mid
around-
harpies anymore.
Exactly.
It's just worth getting the mid harpies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people in competitive let the left harpies go and just go straight to the right ones, which are
Because
free.
it's more safe. Yes, it's more safe because they don't want to fight because there's no point to fight.
Right, but if somebody does get control of
Killed.
both of those mid harpies, then you've automatically lost the farm game.
Yeah, exactly.
much.
That means
You just
you've
press your lead.
basically lost the game, and you better hope a different lane is ahead, and they're able to, do everything that you can. Because you automatically lose the gold from mid harpies every time if you lose the first two. There's no fighting them because they have a level ahead on you, which means they hit harder, and it just winds up being a crapshoot.
Well, it also makes it better that also keep in mind, like one of the best, so to speak, like comeback mechanics, if you want to use that term, would be in that situation, wouldn't be like the Gold Fury, but they also changed that too. So at the same point, it's like, sure, that team that falls behind like those mid camps. Okay, a team takes both mid camps, you're behind, you have to force a fight. If you kill maybe one or two people, if you go after Gold Fury to try to compensate too early, you're gonna get maybe the equivalent to the goal of both mid camps terms of gold and experience back at that point, and that's it. For an objective that's supposed to be like turned into a counter / comeback mechanic that really isn't working in that aspect. If you if you go after gold within the first maybe 8 minutes, you've done nothing more than waste your time and take an objective off the map and hooray.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they lower the XP and gold you gain for mid harpies? Pretty sure they.
Yeah, but I think it might be even
Yep.
with the. Well, not even. I'm sure.
When
Gold
did
Fury's
they?
gonna
When are
go
we?
for
When are
it.
we talking about them lowering it?
I think it was like
They lowered how much the golden XP gives. I don't think
Which golden? The mid harpies or the Gold Fury?
harpies.
When did they lower the mid
Well, they
harpies?
changed both. I believe. I think I know what he's talking
They
about. I think
changed. They
changed,
lowered back harpies a little, and then they raised up fucking mid.
That's when they
harpies.
changed.
No.
Didn't they change
They
all the
did that.
buffs to do less damage? But were like, I think that's when they changed the back harps to a shorter cooldown. But they also that thing
Yeah.
was that with Bumba's change. I think
That was a long time ago. That's why I was confused. I thought you were talking about like something this patch that like they lowered the health.
no.
on mid
I think what he's
No.
talking. I think what he's talking about is with that patch. I'm not entirely certain.
No, it was like a patch a month
I
ago or
can't
so,
remember.
2-3 months ago.
Yeah,
I know
I
what
think
you're
that-
talking about. I really do, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's no. I can't timeline that. What the hell?
I'm checking right now to see how much XP and gold.
It was the
actually
hog
gives.
patch where they lowered the camps.
Yes,
Yeah.
that
that's
was it.
when that
Guaranteed.
Yeah, that
Hog.
makes sense
Oh,
because
and that was a brilliant idea too.
make camps easier to take. That's actually one of the biggest things that I find frustrating is say as a jungler, if I'm jungling and we're having a rough time and their jungler's ahead, he can easily take my camps. If he gets anybody to rotate with him, I'm already behind, so I can't really fight. The best thing I can do is like stare at him angrily. And all of my other lanes have to deal with their own problems. And he can just stroll into here, and with his leveled advantage, he can, just clear out the camp real quick. And if I do try to fight him, he'll just turn and kill me. And what do you do
Well-
about it? You just
well,
try and run
welcome-
around and get your other buffs, or what?
I mean, at that point, you're actually stuck crying in a corner, to be fair. But welcome
No.
to, in all seriousness, outside of maybe like pre-mades or a 5-man, and or in all seriousness, SPL style, team communication, things like that. If
Yeah.
you pick one, maybe 2 late game gods, and the other team doesn't, they're gonna pick on you because there's literally 0 consequences for them. There's no consequences. If you're lucky, you kill them and get your buff. That actually makes them feel bad. Beyond that, I mean, if you're playing like Circuit, Fender versus Circuit at level 5, like Fender is just going to go fight you and you can fight back pretty well. But at that point, you're going to have to hope that you outplay that person just because the god matchup is in the other person's favor.
So, actually, before I forget, though, a comeback mechanic I was thinking of that nobody's ever really explored that I know of. Can they just give it to where when you kill fire minions, you get double the XP and the gold from them? Once you have a Phoenix down, and that's that, you get double, maybe not XP,
There's-
but at least gold.
That might break.
That would
competitive.
break, to be honest.
That would break competitive, probably.
Mm-hmm.
You probably
Yeah, I was
can't
about to say,
do that.
let's.
Of course
in
it
all
would break
seriousness-
competitive.
Well,
Because
no,
all you gotta do is just let your lane push and just let them take Phoenix, and you just sit there AFK and just gain a bunch of levels.
I was gonna say, like, if someone's playing like Loki solo versus pick a warrior, to be fair, like let's say Osiris is perfect counter, you let the Osiris push your shit in, you farm, blah blah blah, keep up. He takes a Phoenix, let him take the Phoenix. Your team rotates, kills him. You start clearing fire minions. All of a sudden, that Loki, let's say, goes from level 13 to 17. All of a sudden, you have a Loki that now just got super big and is going to pick on every mage, the team's mage and ADC. That character that actually got, for whatever reason, lost is now going to be able to do whatever he pleases.
Well, that would also be the strategy of don't take down a Phoenix unless you're ready to win the game. You don't have to kill the Phoenix.
Well, at that point, that falls into the problem of then what does that person that in that situation one lane, what does he do? Because if he can't push anymore, then he goes to rotate. But if the enemy team's hiding under towers, he can't. That person that got such a dominant like lane control, he can't really go very far and help win any other lanes without deliberately diving and hoping that he doesn't die in the process and putting himself behind in a comparisons aspect.
Okay. Trevor, you wanted to say something?
I don't know if we covered this earlier because I left for a couple minutes, but with the roles or whatever, like what's harder to do, like support and jungle, it's hard to start off. Like unless you have someone helping, how are you supposed to learn that? How are you supposed to learn rotations? Because early levels, like that's one thing with jungle and support.
Yeah.
You don't know the hell it is. You know there's 3 lanes. People go to those lanes, but what are you supposed to do with the big pieces in between, the jungles? Like people who don't know that go from arena. I mean, you know what buffs are because they give you like the little hint thing when you start the game to tell you what it is, but other than that, you don't really have anything.
Yeah.
At that point, in all fairness, you better hope that you like a pro player that's streaming, because that is
Yeah.
at this current point, that is your only option, and that's one of the worst things about Smite right now.
Yeah, because that's all you have left is to go find. Oh,
You have
let's
to go
watch
watch and
this
like
guy.
research on it. There's no way to
Yeah,
learn that without having to really get
Well, to
too
be
far
fair-
in depth in it.
Well, I mean,
Isn't
to be
that a
fair,
good thing?
not really.
Because you're
I mean-
bringing more viewers. And
But the thing is, to be fair, like I came in, I'm probably one of the youngest players around.
or what if?
I was
how old are you?
Not
Or,
that
no, I mean,
youngest.
in terms,
No,
not
he's
that-
saying like who's
in
playing.
terms of in Smite. I came around because I knew about Smite back in closed beta and stuff like that. I couldn't play it, but I watched like Squiddish videos, Mez, Dry Bear, all those kind of like all those people that did streaming and played Smite, and I started learning. I learned about those roles as I started learning to play the game, and then anything beyond that. Right now, if you go look, especially like in Twitch or even like I haven't really checked the YouTube side of Smite, but if you look on Twitch, I mean, you better all it is pros outside of like the guys that used to play Smite are either gone or a part of high res. And there's no one there's no like that happy median, so to speak, outside of, to be fair, actually Demon and or Smitten or
Mez.
F dot. I go Mez.
Yeah,
You can
F
start naming
dot.
people of you can name a small group, but it's
Right,
not
but
a
they're
huge-
not all
it's
streaming
not as-
24/7. The problem.
Yeah.
Maybe if they were, that'd be great.
Also,
But yeah,
something
there's
okay.
one point where you could have that in literally a 24-hour time frame cleared, and every one of them did this little thing, and they all had like this ability to explain, oh hey, I'm gonna go play this role for this day. You have a question, feel free to ask, because I can answer. It's like, oh, I'm playing mid today, but I can answer something else about this, or go see someone else.
Right.
Now it's like, oh, if you're gonna like at this point, if you're gonna start playing a role after about 15 or so in terms of leveling and start actually, oh, I like playing this role and start learning about it. I mean, when I started to learn how to actually play support, I went out and had to go find Shadow Q, Jeff Hinla, and all those other pro players, because at that point, okay, everyone else started disappearing, and you just had basically the pro scene. Then to go say that to a new player right now, that's someone that's just now starting to learn this game.
Yeah.
They have to go to a stream, watch Smite game, watch an SPL match, and they just have that person write down said pro player's name that's in that role they want to learn.
Yeah.
And
Because
hope
like they automatically know all the pro players.
yeah, and then hope they stream, and if they stream, then you better hope you can figure out what the fuck they're doing. Because beyond that, it's
They
a crap shoot.
explain. Like
Well, I mean, not
Sometimes.
everybody does.
pro players.
not
Not-
everyone.
Not
I
every.
mean,
It's pretty rare to actually get a running commentary. You
To
go
be
watch
fair, I'm
Lassus.
not-
He's not gonna. I was watching Lassus today. He's not talking about what he's doing. He's just talking. Either if he's saying anything,
No,
it's
he's hanging out. To
Well,
be fair, he's a
because
pro player
new
that's hanging
players
out.
don't
Yeah.
want to.
Well, no, that's a problem though. Is the fact that I'm saying to a new player, let's say someone that's just now playing this game today, I'm suggesting to that person, go find a pro to learn about this game, and there's not someone, excluding the early group said Demon, Smitten, Mez,
Yeah.
a few others. There's not that
Weekend.
huge. There's not that huge group like there used to be. There's not that, okay, you have people that are there to help you early, a little group there to help you late, and then the pros, if you want to keep going and you want to continue, is like, oh, I think I can go pro in this game. Let me see what the pros are capable of, and go watch them.
yeah. Shadow
It's
Q hardly
like-
streams anymore. Suntouch is a good teacher. I like Suntouch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, the
sounds
pros
like-
are very good. No, absolutely. I'm actually pointing to the pros as being some of the best. It's just the fact that they're almost only your only option at this point.
And
means
so,
that the
like,
community-
you're trying
limiting
to. You're going to be, as a new player, looking at these pros and being like, I need to imitate this. And so you're taking the pros mentality that you've gotten while watching him, and you're going into the new player games, and nobody else is. Just assume nobody else is this concept that you've been doing. You've been researching and looking it up. And so you're going to take this knowledge and help your team win. Well, when your team doesn't do what you expected from them based on watching the pro player stream, you're going to get angry. And I think that actually could be feeding part of the, salty problem, is the fact that the top players, the top streamers, of course, are pros, rightfully so, because they play the game the best. People should watch them. But people also expect your average Smite player to play just like Suntouch and just like Lassus in mid lane, and just like, Shadow Q in support. It's like, I mean, it's so simple. Look at Shadow Q do it.
Yeah, that is a thing. That I
There's
think
also
is a big
getting
deal.
Twitch known. Like when I started, I hardly knew what Twitch was. I knew it from Counter Strike, but that's about it. Like people, if they pick up a game, like they don't know like Twitch. To be honest, some people don't know. I didn't know until I started playing Counter Strike. If you don't know what Twitch is, how are you gonna learn then?
Yep. And
So,
also,
like, maybe?
the thing, like,
I found
where it comes to getting, like, helpful videos out there, if I was to make, tutorial videos on how to play support, they're good for maybe 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month at max, before a patch comes
Yes.
out and possibly ruins the meta, or what that specific thing that I was teaching them did. And so everything's so fluid all the time that, what was good is no longer any use. Like back in the day when it was 3-minute timer rotate, like 250 plastic. Can you tell me the exact time you rotated back to mid harpies back in the day before they brought them back to the starting at the beginning at like 246?
It was first at 3 minutes, then they took it down to 2 minutes.
No, they had it. It was 3 minutes.
Like season one.
Yeah, 3 minutes and then 2 minutes, right?
I don't think they
Season
brought down
one, I think
the.
it was like 250. You had to be back in mid.
You had to be
lane, I
rotating
think.
2 bids at 250 for the two.
Yeah.
It was the. I think a lot of it has to do with timing. Quite honestly, this might be something interesting.
Yeah, like the timing on it, they.
No, I
shortened
mean,
it, believe.
I know what you're talking about with that. Like the timing, you had to rotate on time, but I think it's more of an issue with high res's timing. Like the first time when they had mid camp spawn at 3 minutes back in the day, that was always a really big fight because if you got mid camps, you hit 5, and that's a huge power spike. And so that's one thing that made mid camps such a heavily contested thing. However, it also made it as you would say, it's a kind of a snowbally thing because if you got mid camps, then shit, you got this advantage, and so now you're already rolling it further in, blah blah blah. So maybe if they had started spawning in mid camps at like 4 minutes after people hit 5, or at 2 minutes before they hit, like well before they hit 5, then it would have been useful, but not as critical. That if we don't get them, it's okay. We're not going to die. If we do get them, this is great.
Isn't that more like when it was the mid camp fights?
Yeah.
Like that's
So
when
you had to show up to mid
everyone-
camp fights.
Yeah, it's like if you weren't there, then why weren't you there? Oh, one other thing I forgot to say. One VGS command that is probably overused, especially in like ranked games. They're always overvalued. I don't know what to say. I can't
Huh?
think of a word. Is enemy missing? If you don't call enemy missing in some sort of way, you're getting chewed out by everyone. Especially if it's like you're mid, you back because you're low, and there's Poseidon. He just hit 5, and you're at 400 health. You don't want to get Kraken in the face. You don't
Right.
have actives. I'm gonna back real quick so I don't die. As you do that, Poseidon like puts a whirlpool down and then runs over to duo lane real quick and Kraken's them, and he gets a double kill. Then you're getting in trouble for it.
Right. You should have been able to keep
Like-
track, but that's why you would want to say, I'm be right back, and that's
Yeah,
where
even
the
when-
other people in the game should understand that you're not in your lane. Your opponent may be anywhere, so we need to play a little safe. And it's a problem. Like where I
Or
was
even
playing
if it's like-
ADC, for instance, back in the day when I was maining it. If I hit enemy missing anytime he went into the jungle, all you would hear from ADC was enemy missing because he would just dip out into the jungle. I would do it too. I cleared the wave. I'd go stand over in the corner in the jungle because I wanted him to think I was gone. And so, at what point are you overusing it, and what stuff like that?
Mhm.
It becomes it's now just a boy crying wolf because my guy's always missing. He's never in my lane. Well, why aren't you
Yeah,
5 years
or if
ahead?
it's a mid laner, are they going for back cams? It's about red time. Maybe they're going to a red buff, or maybe he backed and I didn't see him. Especially if you're doing another camp, then you don't know where they are. Like, okay, I'm gonna go do a back. They might go over and invade a buff while
Yep.
you're doing that. I don't know, whatever they
Just-
want to do, but
It's also a mind game. So, I mean, you could
Yeah.
always be doing that. So I mean, you can honestly do, if like in the case of an 80K of the dual lane, like you constantly saying that the 80K is missing, you might end up getting engaged on by the other team because of the fact that you're playing back because you don't know what's going
Yeah.
on.
Well,
So
that
you
point,
can-
well, at that point, well, it depends. Like, there's that, and there's the other fact of how important the early first 3 levels are in every lane. Excuse me. If if you look at it, like if you go back for the dual lane, like quick example, the 80 carry and support when they get to lane, basically the first side that's to level 3 and that wants to pick a fight at level 3 in terms of a combo, that lane that basically walks out with a higher health bar basically has won that lane and controls it for a large portion of the game. Because you're stuck in that, yeah, so okay, I can outskill this person, but I can't engage that person at any point purely on the fact that everyone's always wandering.
Yeah.
The beginning of this the beginning of every, especially every conquest game, actually, to be fair, even arena or think about it, actually in every form of Smite, the first 3 levels are, even before even getting ult, actually the first one to ult almost always wins a lane. But actually no, that's first level 5 wins straight up. The beginning of this game is so dramatically more important than any other phase in the game outside of one other, and that's just the the group and or team's ability to set themselves up to secure a fire giant.
Yep.
That is it. The
So you're
fact
telling me that Assault is the most balanced game mode ever? Because you start off at level
absolutely, if
5?
RNG wasn't so bad. If
Mm,
RNG
Pretty
didn't
much.
hate people. Well, no, the fact that that Iris has actually gone through and said that they've had to balance Assault, in all fairness, is kind of bad. When they brought out Assault and said, "Look, it's every god out there. Have at it." They changed it once, which made complete and perfect sense. Hey, if one team at that point, before that point, if someone gets a mage, or actually not a mage, a healer, okay, sure, that's not fair. Okay, no, make sure every team gets a healer. Beyond that, if you leave it just like, okay, every team gets a healer, if one gets a healer, other gets a healer, beyond that, it's just a pure crapshoot. That's not so bad. Sure, RNG might not like you. I can accept that. RNG seems to hate me and a couple of us here that will not be named. But
Pancake.
Yes.
but
And
that in its purest sense is actually some of the most balanced. Because yeah, it is literally one minion wave for 5 people at level 5.
balanced. That's why
Balanced.
I main Assault.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
So, alright, well, sadly we haven't really gotten as far as I wanted to at this topic, but it's just kind of running in circles. So, I want to get on to the next topic, which is the most important topic, I think, which is Free Gems Weekend. Is this helpful or hurtful to the community? And I'm going to go with one thing. It's awful. Stop. Don't ever do this again. You do it too often. It's terrible. All it does is bring out all the people who play this game for one weekend, and they're terrible, and they never cared about it. They just want to get the newest skin, and so they come out for free day, and they just ruin everything, and then suddenly the entire toxicity conversation has to come back up because everybody's like, wow, what just happened this weekend? It is the days that when they have gem-free weekends, free gem weekends, that I honestly will not play. I did play this past weekend, but typically, before that, if it was free gem weekend, it's like, way, we're playing customs, boys! Or, you know, we're avoiding queues because it'll ruin every queue. Because everybody's just like, I need to get my first win, and I'm gonna yell at you because it's my 18th try. Because I'm actually bad at this game, but I don't think I'm bad at this game because I've only played it for 4 weekends in a row, and this is my 5th weekend, and damn it, I need those gems. So here's how you fix it, which is you give gems based off performance that they've already done. Have you played 10 Conquest games this past week? Hey, you guys got 100 gems. You know, just randomly do it for different things and you'll get better outcomes. You have to do it after it's already done. You can't just announce it and be like, you have to complete this task. Unless this task is, you just have to play 10 games. The simplest fix would be, you just have to play X amount of games. You don't have to win, you just have to play.
Make it like the rewards for the clan. Like it says, play blank amount of time with a clanmate, or win 20 arena games while in a party with someone in the clan. Like do something like that.
Yeah, that could be good. Like,
I know
you
another solution.
what's that? Go for it.
Don't do it at all.
That's another solution. I like that one.
Yes, because it's just the most
I'm
irritating
with
thing
that
ever.
one.
Well, the
And it's pointless.
reason
It's diluting the currency of the gem. Obviously, high res don't care about how much it is because what 400 gems for $15 is expensive as all can be, and that's pointless. Yeah, let me go buy a 200 gem skin and a voice pack. Yeah, that's well earned $15. That is the stupidest marketing I've ever seen.
it's $8.
Well, you know what I mean. So it doesn't matter.
There you go.
But
To
still, it's just
yes,
expensive.
Smite does advertise on third-party websites.
It's the same thing as League, though.
I mean,
It
you kinda
is.
can get a little more out of it.
It's just a cosmetic thing, but
I
it's
think it's
it's not
It's
encouraging.
You don't have to buy it.
No, you don't.
Like you don't have to buy every skin of the game to actually play the game.
But what it's doing
It's
is you're letting
cosmetic.
cosmetics ruin the fun of people that just want to play the game. And
Exactly.
O0's points it out, which it's very discouraging to new players. I don't think it encourages them at all to play. It's like, oh my god, it's free gems weekend. I can get free cosmetic stuff. And it brings out all of the garbage that wants to come and get free stuff. It's a immediate boost for a crappy reward.
Well, that's why you always play as a party.
Even still,
Yeah.
Not
it's
really.
difficult.
If you're good, you'll win.
It doesn't matter if you go to, I mean, if you're just a 5-man pre-made of, who wants to just play to have fun and or just want the gems, then you can face, a team that's just gonna crap all over you.
Okay, yeah.
Or
I
make
think
it not
Flux-
fun to have a bad team.
I think Fluxic brought up an important point. Team, say we queue as 5, and we're 5 people who just want to play the game and have fun. Alright, on Free Gem Weekend, we'll go against people who queued 5 and want that shit so bad. They'll queue with, like, Ares, Agni, Zeus, Odin, and, like, giant AoEs just to win. And we just
Arena.
pick a random shit shoot to win, right? Or
Yeah.
not to win, but just to play.
We wanted to play and try out some different gods in the role. We wanted to have some fun, practice some things, do that, and all you have is these people that all they want to do is win 1,000%. They don't care how they win. They're going to run the same comp 500 games in a row if they have to.
Exactly. And Q, would you have fun with that? Would you have fun, seriously? Just getting shit on you numerous times?
I honestly would be on the other side of that.
You would have
And,
fun.
Yeah. I don't know. Like either win or lose, for some reason I enjoy the game because I'm learning something new that I didn't know before. Like every day, like when I play Smite, I end up learning something I didn't know. Like for example, today, what's that? Today I learned that ranked in silvers, silvers or below is not fun. Because I was playing on my Smurf.
It is very not fun.
Yeah, so did you get your Smurf out of
even
silver?
simple as that.
And then the whole smurfing thing, too. That's not going to help the new
That
players
is
either.
also a really big issue. Is
That's
once you do
not
free gems
gonna help.
weekend, everybody jumps on their Smurf and ruins matchmaking.
Yeah.
And then these whole rewards for playing with your friends or getting the whole tier skin and the Agni skin, that's ruining it for the new player.
Yep.
I mean,
that's not helping.
I'm man enough to admit I have 2 Smurfs. I have one for the tier and I have one for the Agni. But I just did it because around here, people don't even own a fucking computer. What friend am I gonna get to be like, oh hey man, hop on your shitty little 1990s computer and come play some.
That's so fucking true, dude. All my friends at school, they all play console. I'm the only one that has a computer.
See,
Yeah.
me
It's
too.
depressing.
I really, really hate the friend skin even more. I mean, I love the skins themselves. Like, the skins are awesome, but the fact that you can get it by making Smurfs is what's ruining the fact. It's encouraging people to Smurf, and that was something I bitched about a while ago, which was, Hi-Rez is touting their, we've reached the 10 million account milestone. Like, yes, and you also have 2 skins that encourage people to make duplicate accounts. So if you just go ahead and do pancakes and assume that he just did it for himself, and so he's tripled his accounts by him having his main and then 2 Smurfs. So now he has 3 total. So if you
I've
cut 10 million
already
and a
passed
third,
Smiths.
that's probably your actual player, your registered base, and then take that and cut it in like a hundredth, or not a hundredth, but into a freaking cut it by 90%, and that's probably your active player base.
But you can't. To be fair, you can't do what. This is a complete clusterfuck because you can't have skins, achievements, and then tout it. That's literally like, hey, do this stupid shit for us, and we're gonna get the praise for it and think we're really, really good for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
That's like patting yourself on the back with both hands when you actually have achieved half of the first place.
Mm-hmm. And that's just poor marketing, in my opinion. Obviously, if you're trying to, encourage new players to play, yeah, let me be a new player and pair against a 5-man pre-made of Smurfs that are just gonna shit all over you and you don't learn a thing and you just hate the game. That's why there's so many people that just play it and don't play anymore. Like
Well-
what Squiddish stopped playing because he knew the game was just bad.
Well,
The
the game itself isn't bad. The problem is Smite itself. Learning how to play Smite from the word go is unbelievably difficult. For a lot of things we actually have already talked about beforehand, last hitting, things like that. Getting into it at even a casual level, playing a couple of days a week, weekends, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Not including the fact that the high res controlled meta currently changes so dramatically.
So you hit a really heavy point there. It's
Well,
very,
yeah.
very, very difficult to play this game casually.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You play it in Arena to play it casually because the meta changes in Conquest doesn't really affect Arena other than the fact that maybe this god's in Arena. But you still play Arena the same. You go out there, you kill people, you go have a good day.
And then it's all of a sudden, hey, you end up end up winning the game. Who the fuck cares? Congratulations.
But if
I'm
I
not
had to
saying that's
take a
negative.
month off of playing Smite because of X, Y, or Z, I'll say I did take a month off of playing Smite. I was just like, tired of this game. I've been playing it for 3 years straight. I'm going to go play something else. I came back, and I have had literally 3 years of experience playing Smite, and I come back and I'm like, so what the fuck do I build now?
And as someone that played, and to be fair, as to build upon that thought, Demon, as if someone that has played with you, I would tell you don't touch casuals for like literally almost a couple of days if you can spare it, because that is how currently silly it is. Because you can't go through. I'm thinking farther back, the complete warrior nerf. Go through constant meta changes from season 1 till current season 2. The beginning of season 2 was literally you could put an ADC in all 5 roles, actually all 5 roles, and win games. I believe it went an SPL game. I think Eager did it. The fact that it's capable at a pro level is unbelievably silly. And
You know
now,
what's funny?
Currently, sorry, Flux, we're like currently in like the Bluestone version of that. It's like we can't fix these specific gods in these ways we want to, or know how to, but we're gonna increase the items that are around them. That's their response. I mean, Bluestone, you get, to be fair, as someone that likes playing Sun Wukong a lot, you should never ban that god because yes, he's a warrior, he is strong, he has great abilities. Is late game compared to, let's say, I don't know, Jean Kui, another mage, an ADC in said solo lane situation, he loses to a heck of a lot of gods. But a lot of them are unplayable because if you say, let's give them Sun Wukong, and I'm going to play a mage of any kind or a squishy that can actually beat him, but he has Bluestone and a form of tankiness and increased damage, you just flat out lose.
Yeah.
Yep. And the only way, that's the sad thing, like high res, they don't listen, they barely listen to the community, as in the sense of what's overpowered, what's just dumb. The only way they actually realize it is by the competitive scene. The competitive scene is the one that actually shows what's broken in this game. And that's when they change.
They refuse to listen to that anyways. The fact that as I said earlier, you can see a 5 ADC game
Yeah.
They change it like right after? They changed it
Well,
right
they
after?
changed it recently, but the fact that, as actually, I'll go quote Doom on this, and someone that's subbed to said Barracuda, another ADC main, the fact that Barracuda, for a period of time, quit giving lessons to people. That means he quit accepting money to sustain himself because he said, F this, I'm not teaching people how to play ADCs because they're so strong. That man was legitimately turning down handouts. Something is incredibly wrong when a person that is helping support your game at this highest level says no.
Collateral. Bracken crushes Sun Wukong. Good to know.
He does. Sobek actually does surprisingly well. But that leads into Guardians being not
Dude.
actual Guardians.
Right. I mean, that's where
But-
it's starting to get silly. It's like, you're supposed to be a guardian, but why are you destroying everything?
See,
You're-
yeah,
Meanwhile,
yeah,
last night
Guardians
was
are
the-
the most OP thing that the
Yeah.
game's ever seen.
I
Like,
agree.
it's just they're actually ridiculous, but
Yep.
they'll never get nerfed because that's the way
Right.
the game works.
I mean, you have
I-
guardians that can out damage ADCs now, almost, in their sense of their burst damage.
Well, no, and
So-
also like a side note to that actual comment, in all seriousness, Incontinentia, or Incon currently, is one of the best players in Smite. The fact that you can see him pick Geb solo, Geb, which is meant to be a control support. He has
Yes.
he has his raw, which is a slow, which is meant to be a soft form of CC. His knockup is a hard form of CC. His ult is a root and a very hard form of CC, and his shield is a cleanse. The fact that that man, that one player, skill level irrelevant, can take that god solo and beat a lot of gods because he is his inherent in-hand tankiness, and because the builds currently Hi-Res says is okay, these items aren't OP or too strong, and go out there and win games. I will use instead in terms of ranked, of course. But the fact that someone can pull that off, that shouldn't happen, especially with like that kind of a class. Skill, yes, fine. Skill in any MOBA should always be able to dictate how gods are played. If someone wants to take any god in any position, that's fine. That means you're going to have to outskill that person that's picking, most likely, a standard god in that role. If you outskill them, perfect. Skill should always dictate a MOBA, but not, because recently Soul was so powerful. The fact that you can pick Soul and basically take a tier 1 tower within 3 minutes because of her release abilities that's not how it works. Or that's not how, okay, now let's drop her down as low as we can to make her, quote unquote, equal with other gods. You need to either commit to, okay, she's really strong, let's make the other gods around her capable, or don't do it in the first place. Because there's a heck of a lot of gods. You can't have a 70 god mastery icon and not have a majority of the gods viable to be picked because they just don't win. Or you just can't, or you're going to have to, as I said before, outskill them and have to play at an incredible level to pull it off.
I just personally don't like the fact that they release a god every single patch.
That's
agree.
another
I
thing
think
for
That's my issue.
that we'll go on that one probably next week or something. But I do agree the fact that Hi-Res needs to slow down on God release because
like what League of
they
Legends
do
does
it. They do it to draw in new players, draw in new, get people re-interested in the game. It's to keep interest up, but you're going to run into the problem that League is running into, which is, what do we do with almost 200 gods? I mean, how do you balance that many? It's going to be logistically a nightmare and almost impossible. So,
And they still screw it up.
right, of course. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and cut this for today. I think we pretty much covered it. We've gotten all sorts of circles around in circles. But generally, as I think most people in the community would say, please stop doing free gem weekends because it makes
it
things
look
very,
really dumb.
very, very, very toxic very fast, and you're not getting what you want out of it, which you want people that want to play the game consistently. If you want people to play the game consistently, give them rewards for playing the game consistently, not for showing up for a week.
I apologize. As a side note, Demon, actually, for what you just said and exiting out, as a quick side note, do you know how many gems you actually got this weekend associated with this?
100?
Did you actually achieve the whole
We
5
got-
everything?
Yeah, we got that Saturday. We didn't get it Sunday. Because we started
Do you know how many games it took? It's like this, like
how
defending
many
what you just
games
said,
it
it's like,
took?
it took me like 30 games to get literally 100 gems. This is how well things are working out.
Oh, you're probably queuing with the wrong people. Took me.
He's saying that he's queuing with the normal.
No,
group that
cute.
he
Just
plays with.
because. So what you're saying is, if you're not pro, you're not going to get gems.
Not good, I guess. I mean,
That's what you just said. If you're not queuing with the right people, they
Yeah.
can't carry you through the games. If they're not that amazing, then you're literally cutting out the bottom half of the entire community from getting gems because they're getting super frustrated because they're trying to get these gems, but they're not that good at this game. They just really want to try and win, and the people that are in their bracket of level of play are just terrible because they only come in for the weekends of free gems, and it's just a nightmare to get it done. I mean, yes, I can go get my super top tier friends and we can win 5 games in 5 minutes, but I don't want to do that. I want to play with the people that I want to play with. And I want to try and do this, and I want to have it be... I don't want to have to do this in the first place! That's the big point.
Yeah,
Is
I
the fact
kinda
that
agree.
I would like to play the
just
game
wish
for
we
my
could-
enjoyment, not because I'm trying to get these goddamn gems and keep beating my head against the wall because we keep getting matched up against obscenely high-level people for some insane reason.
well, I have a few friends who only play just Assault, and they didn't even care about that. They just normally played Assault all day long, just because they only play Assault.
But then they
didn't
didn't
really
get any
care
But
about
gems.
you're
the
dictating
gems.
the fact of you playing Assault. You know, if you play, Conquest and all the other game modes, you may have a difficult time doing that. I mean, you can't
Yeah,
just say, I'm going to go
'cause I
find
played
my
with other
friends
friends.
who play. Yeah. Then don't be saying, like, oh, it's a rough time. Obviously, because other people are trying to get it. And
Oh
they're
yes, I
trying
could just not
as hard.
play Theron Age. But the problem is, I would like to play. I would like to play the game and enjoy myself, but because it's free gem weekend, I'm going to have an awful time, and so I don't want to play.
Next time that happens, just yeah, I'll hook you up.
Just buy me the gems. Good man. Good man. Anyway, thank you for joining us for this lovely episode. We'll continue this conversation afterwards for the, just where we just kind of open it up to just discuss about whatever. But for the recording side of things, it's done. Join us next week, Mondays at 8 for Smite Drama, where we'll have a whole new list of interesting topics to discuss. Thank you for joining me.